quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 185 of our ongoing series, The Roots of Ruin. My name is Lars Casteen. Welcome to the show. We have a Pathfinder actual play podcast that you have likely tuned into 184 times before, so you probably don't really need a lot of the information that you're about to get. But guess what? You're getting it anyway. I'm joined today by David the Tin Man Chernicoff.
Good that time, Lars.
Good that time. Zoe Chernicoff.
Good that time.
Robin Lange.
Good that time.
Good that time. We're pointing at the camera today.
Pointing
something
thing,
I really like. Hey, and Armet Humphreys.
What's got two thumbs and is it good this time? This guy.
This guy.
This guy is a good this
Armet,
time.
for a second, the light made it look like you were wearing mittens. I thought you were doing like a weird mitten bit, but no, it's just that it was very bright.
I wish I was wearing mittens.
Maybe
I would.
it's very cold in your room.
Maybe next week.
It's fairly cold out here.
Tune in next
We
week.
could do Mitten Week.
Yeah.
Mitten week.
We got
Mitten madness.
speaking of Mitten Madness, we got Malt Madness coming up like right around the corner, right? It's almost March. I think in 3 episodes,
It's
we're going to kick
malt.
off. It's almost malt. Malt is in that smell that you're smelling. That's malt in the air.
Yep.
Foaming at the mouth. Does malt
Malty.
make you foam? It feels
I've been
like
wondering
it would.
about that
I
smell.
can feel it germinating
It's malt.
in the air tonight.
We have a big show today. Obviously, if you've been keeping up with our game, you know that there are big things afoot. So we're going to get into it pretty quickly. But first, it's a dark time of the year. It's February. Some people have called it the worst of the months, and sometimes you need a little bit of comfort food to get you through these darker times of the year. And we decided that we're going to talk about some of that comfort food in the form of TV shows that you either are returning to right now or TV shows that you return to over and over again. Shows that you can watch like a warm blanket. Yes, Robin.
And for once, we're using the food analogy, but not actually talking about food.
We're making progress. It was on the board for things that we want to accomplish in 2025 was food
Progress?
analogies. We wrote the word food. That was what we had to talk about last year. And then we wrote the word analogies after it for what we want to talk about in
iterate.
2025. Yeah.
Always improving.
Anybody have a comfort show, a show that they're returning to, whether they're watching it right now or not?
Well, I kind of brought this topic up because, I've been retreating into some old shows. Now that we got through kind of all of the stuff that was the end of the holiday season that we had watched, and we've been waiting. As we're recording this, the new season of Severance has not come out yet, so we've been waiting
coming
with
out
bated
tomorrow
breath for the new season of Severance. Yeah, we're
That's
going to be
exciting.
restarting our Apple subscription, but I've
Me
been
too.
rewatching both Buffy and Doctor Who. So I also I haven't seen like the last 2 seasons of Doctor Who, so I'm just starting from the beginning. But going back to Buffy,
Wow,
I've been like really feeling my middle school feels because that's when I watched it.
Yeah.
It's weird going back and watching these things and thinking about all the ways I felt when I was like 12 watching this show. And then I didn't catch the last 4 seasons, I don't think, because I never really saw all of Buffy.
You've got a lot to get.
I missed a lot.
On.
I'm catching up on a lot, and it's really fun. Of course, it's always interesting going back to stuff from the 90s and seeing how problematic some of it was with our more modern sensibilities.
Oh, really? Really?
Xander is awful in so many ways.
YouTube routinely recommends that I watch a video that is called Xander is the worst character of all time that explains how bad that guy is and like how loathsome he is. And obviously it's like there's a lot of connection with the ways in which Joss Whedon is loathsome, like connected into that. I didn't get that at the time when I was watching it at all. Like I didn't see how horrible that guy was, but these videos have radicalized me against
So you have watched.
Xander.
I was going to
was
ask.
just funny back then.
I watched a fair amount of it. I got a little bit turned off by the host's candor, but then
Instead of I thought you were going to say
point.
them, like it was like a 10-part series and you were only through 8 or whatever.
Give the internet time, Zoe.
Yeah.
There's definitely a podcast.
The 10-part Xander is the worst cycle on YouTube has been my rewatch for the last.
That's what you've been
That's it.
returning.
Yeah. It's just
I'm kind
you
of
know how it is when it gets cold and dark out, and you just need something familiar.
I'm kind of imagining a Ken Burns style Xander thing where they put up the like freeze still of Xander and like in this
slowly
episode,
tracking across the photographs.
Exactly. They get Morgan Freeman narrating like how.
Oh, it'd be so dark.
It would be dark.
Dearest Elizabeth.
Does anybody else have any
today.
comfort shows they return to? Do anybody have any other shows on the agenda of things that they've been rewatching? I have one that I can throw out there.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching Arrested Development.
Oh, that's one of mine.
First 3
too.
seasons, I
Yeah.
hope.
Okay.
Not.
Which I know is a beloved show.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
And
no.
I always
you
get
stop
through
it.
the first
I know where
season.
this is
Oh,
going.
And then I start the second season and I'm just like, okay.
Okay, idea. So I'm going to take
All
back
right.
what I just said, which is that you should
Yeah.
only be watching the first 3 seasons. Go watch
Yeah.
the 4th season and then go to season 2, and it's not going to seem so bad.
Okay, so I watched the first
Like
season.
Gravity on the Moon, baby.
I watched the first season and enjoyed it. I watched the second season like during that DVD era when everybody was like, "Hey, catching up on this show that like got canceled too soon." Like that was when I came to that show in like 2007, 2008, whatever.
Sure.
Then I didn't watch any of the rest of it, and then I watched season 4, and I was like, "This is not good. I have to watch all of it." So I've seen all of season 4.
Fascinating.
But yeah, it's a really, really funny show, and I really like it. And then at a certain point, I'm just like, I don't want to keep going.
That show makes me, I love it. And there's so many moments from it that I feel like I reference in conversations routinely.
Can confirm.
It is a funny one because it is just old enough that it hasn't been widely gift. A few things have. I use the Tobias crying in the shower on occasion.
Totally.
How
Yeah,
much would
But,
have
but
been
there are
cost?
moments from it that haven't been gift that I always want to drop into, text messages or whatever. And sometimes they're not available. And that makes me feel old.
Yeah. Yeah. Your sense of humor has not been algorithmatized or whatever. Yeah.
I don't want to say our comfort watch. It's in our shared bedroom, so it's probably my comfort watch, and David is along for the ride. We got I don't know, I can't remember if we talked about this. We got a new TV at some point that is like similar to the Samsung frame, but Hisense now makes one, whatever. This TV, it's a Google TV at its base, but it does the thing where it shows art.
Okay.
Google TV now has, in addition to like a home screen where you can be like, add the Netflix app and all that stuff, it has its own sort of like TV world that, to Zoe's point, it looks a lot like a cable TV interface, like a long list of channels that you go down, one at a time, which we had no idea was going to be there. We were completely flabbergasted by this thing.
And this includes some classic television, and the thing that it's worth saying is that it is programmed. Like an episode starts at a given, so you can't, you're not picking from the list of every episode ever. But this is sort of relieving in a way. So the one that we have stuck with.
Wait, the money shot.
Oh boy!
Each channel.
What's on this? What's on this? Game
Not the money shot.
The
The critical piece, the keystone of the arch of this story.
The circle jerk of this.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Is that
So
each channel is just one show.
Yes.
The channels are shows. The channels are not like whatever.
Nick at Night.
Yeah, Amazon Prime does that.
where there's just a channel that's always playing an episode
It's
of one
like
specific
yeah.
show.
The MASH channel.
I
and
had
it's just
never,
nonstop MASH.
I never
Yeah.
encountered this before.
Yeah.
that's weird.
No, it's weird. I think very few people have encountered this. This is a thing that I think has existed for some time that nobody has ever wanted to like actually
Yeah,
engage
I'll
with.
actually watch a couple things. I watched some things on Amazon Prime that way. It was like, oh, I want to watch the show, but I don't want to go and pick an episode. I'll just
Right,
turn
and
to the
it spares you the thing of like
Gardner's
one
World
of us
channel.
is doing bedtime and you feel bad putting a show on. It's like, well, it was going to end. Like, it was
Yeah,
expiring.
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anyways, the show we have been double clicking on a bunch, which is to say I have, is Murder, She Wrote, which I will watch
awesome.
forever.
Phenomenal.
Recently hit a Murder, She Wrote Magnum PI crossover double
Yes.
episode.
Oh my god.
In which we
Nice.
realized, like, both David and I were commenting, I won't say which of us brought it up first, that, like, Tom Selleck, really a tasty treat back in the day.
Speaking of money shots.
For sure. Yeah, thank you.
Yup.
Yeah, that was one that I never understood as a kid. Like I was like, Tom Selleck
God,
is handsome,
dude, same. And then this crossover episode came on, and like the instant he was on the screen, I was like, I get it.
Like, right, this all makes sense.
He was
Totally
wearing
get
real
it.
short shorts, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
he
No,
did.
those shorts are honestly the whole Magnum PI fashion thing is like so impeccable and so great. Like, well done, Tom Selleck. Anybody? Do we? Who else? Armet, we gotta hear from
Well,
you.
two of my favorites have already been mentioned. I watched Buffy like on loop, like season 7 back to season 1 during grad school because it was like the only thing keeping me even the like marginal degree of sanity that I had at the time. And the other was Arrested Development, but I've recently done a couple of Miyazaki movies when I towards the end of the night and like doing Spirited Away, and I love Howl's Moving Castle. To me, that's like
Yeah.
a
I
feel
love that
good.
one.
And
Yes.
We recently watched Kiki's Delivery Service with our kids, which we hadn't seen yet.
Yes.
Loved it.
I love that movie. That movie is so great.
Yeah, I did a full rewatch of The Sopranos last year, which I think I've mentioned here
So comforting.
before. By the end of it, it sort of was because I had watched so much of it that there was a certain amount of like, but obviously it's not quite what you're getting at.
No, I think that's a great answer. I'm so tempted to go back and watch The Sopranos again.
I encourage it.
Yeah.
If you're okay with relating to Tony Soprano a lot more than you used to,
Right.
than being really
Another
upset
thing I
about
didn't
it.
get as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's an escape, I think it counts. If it feels like a bit of escapism.
Yeah, I'm ready for 30 Rock. Like just
Oh yeah,
Just-
that's a good one.
fine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine has been another
Sure.
one where it's like,
Mm.
oh, I've got dinner and I only have like 20. I don't really have able to watch like a full long episode of something, so I throw Brooklyn Nine-Nine on.
All right, so maybe that's what we got. I don't know. I have a feeling. I'm feeling
You
20.
sound so defeated.
20. No, it's just like all right. There's all this wonderful prestige TV that I would love to get into, and I just know for the next, I'm gonna pick an interval at random. No, I won't do that. For the next while, I am probably just gonna want 22-minute episodes with like a high joke rate.
Yeah,
Hey,
Futurama.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
but-
Parks and Rec.
Yes.
If they still made shows like that, maybe you'd be watching one of the new ones. This is not a you problem.
Abbott
This is,
Elementary, I'll put on sometimes.
you could watch Abbott
That's a good one.
Elementary. There you go. There's one show.
Yeah.
They are making one television show like that right now.
Yeah. I'll
Anyway.
take it.
Let's move on. This is episode 185, and because it's a 5, that means a couple things: brand new hero points, brand new hero point cards,
Those.
and also we're going to tell you about some stuff that's happening around here in the Tabletop Gold world. Here's what's happening: Patreon. Stop me if you've heard this one before. We have tons of great content coming on Patreon every single week. We've been posting episodes of the Gold Mine every other week. We had a really great one just post at the time that we're recording this one with Robin talking about playing support in the game. We talk about some of the philosophical underpinning of like how this game is designed and how it like affects some of the things that happened in this show. That episode is available for free on our Patreon if you join for $0 as part of our Messie's Menagerie set of 5 episodes that you can listen to for free. We have been putting out, we're almost done with Goldmine Rewind, where we're covering the episodes of the show that we released before our Patreon started. And we recently posted an episode of Film Debuff, our show about games and TV-related games and movies. We talked about the current anime series Delicious in Dungeon, which is a show about fighting monsters in a dungeon and then eating those monsters and how to prepare them. Like it's half cooking show, half adventuring dungeon crawling like show. So you can hear us talk about that on Patreon. Another thing I want to talk to you about is don't forget that we have a great YouTube channel. I want us to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes,
soon.
please.
I am losing my mind.
We've been hovering around like 820, 830. We're so close.
If you're listening to this and you don't subscribe to us on YouTube, just please.
You know what we need to post
do
on
it.
there?
What do we need to post?
The 10-part series on why Xander is such a terrible character.
Yeah, we do.
Get it on. That's what the people
We do.
want.
We should get it there. You're right. You're right. I don't. See. This is why we talk these things through is to get these ideas out.
Yeah.
One of the reasons to subscribe to us on YouTube is that you can join our watch party every week at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday evening to join us for the premiere of our show, hang out and chat, and then that's the situation with YouTube.
And
And I think
sometimes
that
Lars does a giveaway.
Sometimes I do a giveaway. I don't think I have one coming up right now, but I'll stay tuned to this
gotta be on there
this
to find
very
out.
place. You got to be in it to win it, is what they say. Speaking of which, let's get into it. Let's play our game. You're locked in a life and death fight with a black dragon named Ravarex. Ravarex, you've learned, has spent years living within the bogs surrounding Otari, lurking in the shadows and satisfying tastes that only the sadistic intelligence of a black dragon can hope to understand. One of his primary activities included repeatedly terrifying Mag and savoring the inaction and ignorance of those around her. Perhaps the long lifespan of the black dragon pushes it to indulge progressively more esoteric or destructive urges. Or perhaps the potent acid flowing through Ravarex's mouth has rendered him unable to enjoy physical food. But for whatever reason, Ravarex has developed a nuanced palate, not for comestibles, but for the pain of others. Before leaping to attack, Ravarex revealed that he has recently tired of tormenting Mag, now that all of you are able to fight back. And so he has a new plan, to kill you all in front of Mark, your young friend from the Otari Town Guard, with the hope that Mark will return to town to take Mag's place as a person in need who will be let down by the townsfolk of Otari. And you, of course, are fighting to stop him.
Well, when you put it like that, man.
So, Ravarex had been ignoring Mag up until right at the beginning of this turn that we're about to see from him. He was instead focusing on the rest of you, but you have hit him enough times that his composure, this practiced sort of nonchalance, has fractured. And it's revealed a deeper fury that he has been hiding from you. He's just said that he is going to strike Mag down, and he is now laser focused on Mag as he flies around the room. We are currently in the den of Ravarex the dragon. This is a mud-filled room with a 10-foot-high cliff overlooking a lower part that is difficult to move through. Isthan, Trill, and Mag are all standing up on the lip of that cliff, while Ao has been skulking in the shadows through the mud below, advancing towards Mark. Mag, also, just to fully catch everybody up with what's going on, has been flying because of a spell put on her by Trill, and is also surrounded by a cloak of magical colors thanks to a spell from Isthan that makes everybody around her blinded and dazzled and stunned and all sorts of other crazy stuff. What else is going on? Isthin is wounded and quickened. It's just a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna take my damn turn. Okay, here we go. At the beginning of Ravorex's turn, as he finishes screaming at Mag, he says, "You will fall!" And he whips around, holding up a wing and sort of pivoting as the air catches it to swing around to the far eastern side of the cave.
That looked like it passed close enough to trigger an attack of opportunity.
Ooh, yes, please.
Yeah, the triggers a reactive strike from anybody,
Reactive
from both
strike.
of y'all. Yes.
Please and thank you.
I'm so excited to hit
See
it
it.
that I'm using old terminology.
Chicka, bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah.
Okay, how did, let's start with this then. How did Isthin do on this strike?
28.
Okay, and that's a miss. How did Mag do?
26.
Okay, so in the blink of an eye, Ravorex whooshes around to the far eastern side. The two of you lash out, trying to swing at him, and you just catch air behind him. And he opens up his jaws to enter into a draconic frenzy. First up, it is going to be a horns strike as he screams, just bashes a horn into Mag's face.
Ooh.
I'm taking a -2 penalty to this because I owe you from cheating earlier. However, I don't think that -2 really makes that much of a difference because I rolled a 40 on this. So with that -2, it is a 38.
And it is still a critical hit by 1.
Okay, so I right now need to your cloak of colors that Isthin cast on you. Tell me what happens visually, Armat.
So I think it flares with light, and Ravorex is going to have to make a will save against, I believe it's my spell DC, which...
Okay, here comes the will save. 6 on the die, that is a 27.
That just hits my DC.
Ah.
Okay. So, and this is an incapacitation, so that I succeed, I critically succeed, I'm unaffected.
Damn.
Okay. So Mag gets ripped into by this
Oh,
horn.
you
I'm
still-
rolling critical.
Have to make a... Oh, no, she's not right adjacent to Mag, is she? Because the
No,
dazzled effect...
Ravorex is not
Or
adjacent
he,
to Mag. No.
Sorry.
Should he be? Give me 1 second. He should be, yes. So I
Okay.
still need to make a flat check, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Let's make that flat check. Let's go. So this is him being dazzled by Mag's cloak of colors. That is an 18 on my flat
That'll
check.
do her.
Okay. So this is 40 points of damage coming towards Mag.
All right.
And Ravorex's mouth starts to foam as you get the sense that this like bestial strikeout against Mag has recharged his ability to use his dragon's breath.
Don't
And
love
then-
that.
Reaches out, claw towards Mag.
Ravorex is not slowed anymore, right?
Correct. Oh my god.
DC 5
Here
flat
it
check.
comes. DC 5 flat check. I rolled a 20 on the die. Let's see if I pass this flat check. I rolled an 11 on my
You
flat
passed the
check.
flat check.
So here we go. It's time to draw a crit card. You gotta draw a crit card. Nice. This is a fresh new set of 13 spades. Let's see if I draw the ace. It's the 9 of spades. So this is just gonna be regular crit damage.
Still might be enough.
54 points of damage against Mag.
Mag is still up, but barely conscious.
And Ravorex, you see like a gleam in his eye as like a grin crosses across his face as he swings his second claw out towards Mag. This is a map -8, a 33 to
Wait,
hit.
this is they got a fourth action?
It's Draconic Frenzy is a thing. It's 2 actions for 3 attacks.
Woof.
And that hits.
Okay. Pretty good damage roll. 27 damage to Mag.
And Mag is down.
Dang.
Okay. Yikes. So Mag is now, let's make sure we've got dying on Mag. This is just dying 1 because Mag went down to a regular old strike. But Mag releases the Earthbreaker, falls prone on the ground, and moves an initiative before Ravarex. Ravarex turns his sights towards the remaining 3 of you and whips towards Mark and just shouts out, "Get a good look at this!" At the end of Ravarex's turn, he's going to take 5 points of bleed damage, and I'm going to try to not be bleeding anymore from Ao's murderer's knot. I rolled a 19. He is no longer bleeding and
You
is
are
no
rolling
longer
on
off guard.
Good,
Fire.
good
That was
turn
a
for Rabby Rab.
Crazy turn.
He's earned those jazz hands, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
this is a.
Yeah.
It's like
Dang.
these
we've
are
gone
jazz
from
hands
Mr.
of
Cellophane
terror.
to
Yeah.
I don't know,
Okay.
all that jazz.
What is
would've
Trill
been
going
the
to do
obvious.
on his turn?
Well, you know, in that in our recent Goldmine recording, we talked a lot about Trill, how you have to react, so like you have to be so reactive in your turn choice as a support.
Yeah.
I had a whole plan, like I even messaged you like what to get ready, and Trill's gonna have to soothe. I think Trill's gonna move first, so that she's not adjacent. So because will Dazzled still affect soothe?
Yes.
Yeah, so she's gonna move first, so she's not adjacent.
Probably a good idea to get out of a straight line
yeah,
with
and
Isten
also just not being
Yeah. Clustering
directly near
together.
Reverax. And then we'll target Mag and go ahead and cast. I guess I've got to do my last 4th rank spell slot, because Mag's a hefty lady.
I think I need the help.
But so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cast Soothe, and I'm gonna roll my healing. So that's 34 points of healing. However, I'm also going to use a hit point, or not hit point. I'm also going to use a hero point.
Hey,
Okay.
You're using a hero point card?
I am going to use a hero point card.
All right, let's go.
So this hero point card is from Commissar Mitch. We've used some of Mitch's hero point cards before.
Hey,
was
Mitch.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you,
This
Mitch.
is called Walk It Off. And the trigger is you successfully heal a target in combat. That has happened. And what
Okay.
happens now is the target gains temporary hit points equal to their level times 3, which last until the end of the encounter.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome.
So we're looking at 27 temporary hit points.
Yes. And as flavor text,
I'll add that on.
I
Matt.
got him. I got him.
and the flavor
Yeah,
text says, when I said break a leg, I did not mean it literally. So thank you, Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah.
Thank
Let's
you, Mitch.
try and keep Mag alive a little bit longer.
Yes. Thank you for the.
How many? 27 we said?
Yeah, 27
34.
temporary hit points plus 34 healing from the suit.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
That's Trill's
I'm
turn.
gonna give Trill. Let's give Trill a hero point for that massive healing turn, keeping the tide turned in the hero's direction. Let's do it. Hero point.
Why, thank you. Nice.
the spider shout!
it even.
Yay! Your mom hates you.
Ravarex turns towards the spiders that Ao has conjured and says, "I'm saving you for last." Is that Trill's full turn? Moving,
That
using a
move
spell. Yes,
spell,
healing
that's it.
mag. Big old turn there. It is now Ao's turn. Ao unfortunately has lost the advantage that she set up for herself with this murderer's knot. She's down in the mud, looking up at Ravarex flying about 25 feet away from her. What is Ao going to do?
Remind me, we learned that it's weak to fire damage? Am I remembering that right?
Yes, you've learned that it is weak to fire damage and that reflex is its worst save.
And I think those things came as a pair, i.e., I think one of them is true and one of them is not.
Yeah.
I don't know, David.
I'm you don't have to tell me. I'm confirming with my peers here. My recollection of this is fuzzy, but it's that the reflex thing seemed real and the other things seemed possibly, to choose a word at random, dubious.
All right. And I guess this is difficult terrain, so there's no way to flank it. He's flying anyways, and I would spend a bunch of turns.
If you get some cover between you and him, you could potentially hide. So I'm going to say that, like, given the shape of this cliff that Ao is a short distance away from, if Ao were to move maybe into a space right next to that, that would give her cover, and she could then spend an action to hide to get Ravrex off guard that way.
But then I'd only
you
get
could also
one
potentially
shot
use a
at him.
diversion. That's true.
I think seeing Mag down, she's not going to be particularly cunning. She's going to spring into action with an oldie but a goodie. I had Chompers out, right? Because that's how
Yes.
So she's just going to fire 2 arrows at Ravrex and see how that goes. First hit is a 30.
That just misses.
Man alive.
Let me revise. First hit is a 32.
Oh, yeah, no, that definitely hits. Yeah, that
All right.
hits.
Second one. Ooh, that's a
Oy.
bummer. That's a 1 on the die.
Okie dokie. Let's see. It is very bad. I'm drawing the next card from the stack of aces, or the stack of what words? Spades.
Spades.
Stack of spades. It says 5 of spades. It's not an ace, just a regular mess.
All right.
And Ao has 1 more action.
All right. She's going to go the 5 feet over now in hopes that she can set up a hide next time.
Okay. Ao retreats just to put cover at the even if nothing else, to put some cover between herself and Ravrex. That seems smart. And with that, it's the end of round 4. And here's the situation. Isthin, Trill, and Mag are on the upper level of this dragon's den. Mag, recently unconscious, is on the ground, no longer raging because she has been knocked unconscious and dropped her Earthbreaker for the same reason. So Mag is slowed down significantly from being knocked out. Ao is hiding, unhit so far, down in the shadows. It is now Isthin's turn. Isthin is quickened because of a potion, a spell? Because of his Ayuvara,
his
skill feat,
Ayuvaran
whatever.
pinch time because of the disparate chronology of his human parent and his elven parent, and they're very different.
There you go. That's how that
perceptions of time. Yeah. So yeah, he is going to use his quickened action.
A lot of children of trophy relationships of successful people have the pinch time experience in real life. Many of Alec Baldwin's children with Hilaria Baldwin have pinch time, given the difference in age between the two of them.
Didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah. No, totally. So I think what Isthin needs to do is move to get away from Mag, spell strike to put some damage against Ravrex, because we really need to start putting some hurt on him, and leaving 1 action, which I'll maybe use to recharge his spell strike. So I'm going to use the quickened action to stride over to here, so I'm outside of Mag's adjacency, and I can strike, and I'm not online with Trill.
Okay.
And then Isthin is going to use a spell strike with ignition. We're going to test to find out if it really is weak to fire damage here, but I sort of doubt it.
As you start gearing up for this attack, Ravrex's tail swings out towards you.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Whoosh, puncturing towards Isthin, 15 on the die. A 36 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. Istin gets hit for 23 points of damage,
Okay.
and because of that, is going to take a -2 on this attack roll. As he's thrown off balance by the dragon's tail hitting him in the body.
Just on a hit?
Correct.
That's rude.
Well, and that happens on the stride, correct?
No, that was on the strike, on you doing the spell strike.
Oh, okay. Then it's too late for me to use a sure strike. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
As you start to attack, he lashes out at you.
Here we go. All right.
Okay.
17 on the die for a 33.
Is that with the -2?
That's
It
with
is.
That is
Okay,
with the -2.
Hits.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Okay. 16 bludgeoning damage to Ravarex and 22 fire.
Woo.
Okay. 16 bludgeoning and 22 fire. It doesn't seem like that fire does anything in particular to Ravarex.
Yeah, that
but
makes
he
sense.
does.
But he's not
he
like
does
resistant.
sort of.
I mean, that was
He is
what.
not resistant.
Oh my gosh. Morlabrint and Carl told us that, they have no weaknesses. So
Yes.
we kind of already knew that.
We just know that he's resistant. That acid does nothing, right?
Yeah, you know that he is immune to acid.
Immune, not just resistant,
Right.
but immune.
So that is a big time change in momentum from Istin because Ravarex wheels back and is pretty badly hurt at this point.
And you know what? I think I'm just going to push my luck and make another strike at Ravarex.
I
So
love
this is going to be
it.
at map 10.
Map 10, yeah.
Is it mathematically possible?
Yeah, that's wondering. I guess is it
Map 10.
20 or bust here, man?
No, I was just thinking that through, and there's no way the math works out. He's just going to raise his staff to parry.
Okay. Istin steps forward, unleashes a massive spell strike, and then raises his staff in the face of the black dragon. It is now Mag's turn. Mag is magically quickened. Her rage has worn off. She is on the ground. She is wounded. She is not holding a weapon. She has basically 4 actions to work with. What is she going to do?
Well, my first question was going to be whether I still had quickened. So I'm glad that stays.
Rage just has a thing that says it wears off and you get knocked off.
Yeah.
When you get knocked out.
Yeah, but
That's a special feature of rage.
yes. Well, I need an action to stand up and an action to reclaim my weapon.
Okay,
So that's 2.
that is 2.
And then the question becomes, do I rage again before I strike, or do I do a 2-action slam down? And I kind of want to do the slam down.
Ravarex is flying in front of you, feet away from the ledge of this cliff. If you slam him down, he will be sent down into the mud below you.
Interesting. So it wouldn't result in his being tripped and... Oh, no, it would.
No,
It's
it would.
just that's what it would
just
look
would be
like.
cool.
Yeah, it
it
would
just
easier
would look
for-
awesome.
It would just be awesome.
Yeah.
It would just be awesome.
Closer to AO.
So let's do that. I'll do the rage next time.
Okay.
Wouldn't mind the +1, but hey, here we go. All right, I'm going to remove
I'd love
prone.
your armor class not to get lower right now.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Doesn't
That's gone. Bow chicka wow wow.
anymore.
Oh,
That was
Don't make me play Bow chicka wow wow.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Bow chicka wow wow.
so distracting though.
It is.
Yeah, I was Robin. That was what I was thinking too. Okay, I'll keep the armor class for the but there we go. I guess to make up for that, I still have guidance on me from.
No, you used
Guidance
it already.
wore off.
Okay,
Yeah, it only is for that round. when
Okay.
You used it.
I don't even remember if I guess I didn't end up using it because I got slowed, and I quickened myself. Okay, well there we go. So here is a really pretty, gosh darn important roll of the die for this slam down.
A slam down that is only possible because the magic that Mag has imbibed is accelerating her. She is moving in fast motion. right now.
So 4 on the die. There's no way that is going to hit. I'm thinking about a hero point, and I have to.
Do it.
You
Do
have
it.
to.
I have to. All right, I'm going to use a hero point to re-roll that.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Mag digs deep. Can she, in the face of her tormentor, this creature that has been lurking in the shadows, can she put him back down into the shadows?
Oh, wow.
It's a 20.
That was amazing!
Nice. Very good.
Oh, very
I got
good.
my stack of spades. I have 11 spades left. Is it the ace? It is the 8.
It sounds similar. Does
It
that
does.
count?
It does. It
gosh.
counts if one very specific hero point card is in our hand.
David, that brought me so much joy for you.
It really did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if there's a word for what I'm feeling.
In German, there is.
Yeah.
It's good, and for some reason, I feel sort of like completely drained by that.
Yeah. The
Definitely
grief
a word
of
in
having
German for
achieved
that.
one's revenge. Now what, you know?
All right. Let's get that critical damage.
Ooh, it's a terrible damage roll. It's only 26 damage.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's clumsy and
Am I allowed
feebled.
to donate a hero point card? Like to use one of mine for something?
I don't know what you mean.
So there's a hero
need more
point card
specifics.
that would be cool to use here related to the
Oh.
use of a slam down, but David now only has 1 hero point.
Right. You're right. There's a hero point card. The trigger is you use slam down on a foe within reach of another character, and I guess Ravarex is within reach of this then. But it would leave me with no hero points remaining.
Right. I don't think
and
it
I'm
makes sense
wounded.
for
I
you,
think
given
I-
this dragon, to do that. But
No.
I'm wondering if I can donate a hero point.
I see. That's what you mean by donate a hero point.
Yeah, I want to spend my hero points so you
Trigger.
Can,
Someone else lands a slam down.
yeah, I suppose the trigger is about you. So
Yeah, I think
all right,
maybe next
I
time.
tried.
Yes, I appreciate
I'm gonna
that.
go save Mark now.
If I hadn't rolled a fucking 4 in the first place, then we could use the hero point for that.
Hey, we
Hey.
got there.
If you hadn't rolled the 4, you might not have gotten the 20, you know?
Oh,
The dice gods.
26.
Zig it and they take.
Man alive.
The crushing rune on the Earthbreaker activates, making Ravarex clumsy and
Yes.
enfeebled, which are
Yes.
both huge.
Wow.
You have a critical specialization. Ravarex needs to make a fortitude save or be knocked prone, which will
Already
render
prone though, right?
Well,
no.
you gotta do the slam down. So this happens before that.
I see.
So the slam down might not even need to happen if I fail this fortitude save. So let's just see what happens.
Okay. Whoa.
18 on the die. I passed the fortitude
Yeah,
save.
that'll do it.
So now Mag gets to make an athletics strike or an athletics check to try to trip Ravarex. Grabbing a hold of the Earthbreaker to yank him down.
Roll is only a 9 for a 29.
29. You feel the tip of the Earthbreaker grab a hold of one of the plates on Ravarex's neck, and he goes, "Rah!" and whoosh, slams down into the mud, sending
Amazing.
muck up into the air.
Yes.
He is falling 10 feet. He's going to take 5 points of fall damage. And he is going to land on the rock below, prone. Ravarex sends this wave of mud towards Mark as he is twisting and trying to get his wings up to, like, get composure back.
And
that's
Mark
it for Mag's
dies.
turn.
That was the 8
Yeah.
hit points he had.
Right. Mark's mouth was just at the level of the mud. But Ravarex screams wordlessly, just "Ah!" And it's now Ravarex's turn.
Mhm.
Ravarex is out of reach for Mag because he's on this level below, but he is within reach of Isthin as he stands up.
What about the
reactive
spiders?
strike, please.
He's within reach of the spiders. Reactive strike. Yes, let's do it.
29.
Just misses. As Ravrex gets up on his feet and has to. He's looking around. He's tired. He's slow. He wants to use his breath against somebody. He can't target Mag. He can't target Isthan. He can't target Trill because there's this cliff right up above his head. So he whips around, sees Ao in the shadows, and just a jet of acid flying straight towards Ao. Here's how much damage we're looking at.
Ooh.
Take the. I accidentally rolled damage twice. I apologize. Take the last one. And this is going to be a reflex save from Ao.
So there's a hero point card I want to use. I guess I have to do the reflex save to see if I am damaged first. I need to be damaged in order to use this.
Yeah, let's do the reflex save first.
So I roll this. That's a 26.
26 is a failure, so you're going to take the full 39 points of acid.
Is that
damage.
with the acid resistance?
No, the acid resistance would hit after that 39 points of damage.
So it would be 34, right? Because it's 5. Yeah.
Here's my point.
Yes, please.
I'm going to use a hero point.
Okay, here we go.
All right, this one comes.
So many hero cards.
From Mike from Chicago.
Hey, Mike.
Card name, Grothlet Call. Trigger, damaged by an enemy. Good news, I've taken a bunch of acid damage. Right when I am about to be harmed, I actually whistle, so it's kind of a... And do you know who comes rushing out of... It looks like there's some kind of pond maybe over here to the right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of water over there.
Yeah, so it's like almost like those old swamp monster movies. Crawling up out of that pond, up over the edge of, it looks like maybe another little cliff or dip down, is actually a Grothlet. It's a friendly Grothlet, and she charges in and gets in the way of this acid splash and actually very kindly takes all of the damage for me. And if there's any other harmful effects, she'll take that as well. And she is now under my control for the remainder of this fight.
Well, Zoe, I don't know if you know this, but Grothlets are immune to acid damage.
This is
That's amazing.
I'd forgotten that.
I'm imagining this as, the shot from In the Line of Fire where like Clint Eastwood jumps laterally across the screen and takes the bullet for the president, only it's a Grothlet.
Only it's a Grothlet. That's just like out of just total Deus Ex Machina out of this lake. Like really no reason for this.
Yeah. So this, just as Ao is about to get pelted with this jet of the strongest stomach acid you've ever thought of in your life, this Grothlet appears and just gets covered, like shaking like a dog as this acid just flies droplets away from it, and Ao is unharmed.
Amazing.
Unharmed.
That's amazing. What a great
Do you only
hero
have
point
2 moves
card.
because you're slowed? Is that what's happening? Or do you have something else bad about
No,
that?
that's all 3 actions. It's now Trill's turn.
Do we have a name for the Grothlet?
Was it Nell? Was Nell the last
Nancy?
Grothlet?
Nancy, I think.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Nancy. Is this still
This
Nancy or is this?
Is fancy.
I love it.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Aw, ain't she fancy?
I'm a Grothlet. You already know.
Lars is naming
Life
this
in
Grothlet.
the process. From the Warp Brew Tavern to the bottom.
Does
of
anybody know the song that Armad is singing right now? Okay,
Fancy.
people do know that song.
Fancy with
Okay,
Charlie
Fancy, of
XCX.
course, by Iggy Azalea.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a good one.
Very good.
This
Um,
Grothlet will hereinafter be known as Drama Killer.
Listen, that's why we play the game. Sometimes drama gets killed.
well, I had a plan for something that Trill's going to do, but we're so close to the end. I think actually Trill's going to keep supporting Mag because this feels like this is Mag's moment. And so Trill's got one focus point left, so she's going to harmonize because we've lost all of our buffs and everything. So we're gonna go ahead and harmonize and give use the last focus point on Lingering Comp and cast Dirge of for Courageous Anthem and cast Dirge of Doom. Actually, I don't even need to use Lingering Composition. I'm guessing I don't.
You're not expecting this fight to last.
So she's gonna harmonize Courageous Anthem and Dirge of Doom.
So 3 actions, both songs.
Why is it 3 actions?
Ring out.
Oh, because harmonize is the action, right?
Harmonize is an action, and then each of the spells is an action.
Right, yeah. And he's just within the Dirge of Doom range, I believe.
Whoa, they don't even have to save against Dirge of Doom? That is so good.
It's very good.
How did I not realize that?
It's
That's
very
amazing.
good.
It's ridiculous. It's super, super good.
So that's Trill's turn. Trill's here to make Mag's life better.
Thank you, Trill.
A scary but inspiring song rings out across the room.
Fancy, as a matter of fact.
It's
Right.
we all
perfect.
love that song.
Yeah.
And
Everyone-
the Grothlet is just like harmonizing in the background.
Now that's a piteous
Like that.
moan.
Drama Killer strikes again.
That's her middle name.
So, as this song echoes across the room, it is now Ao's turn. Ao, standing 10 feet away from Fancy the Grothlet and 20 feet away from a very, very badly injured Ravarex. What is Ao going to do?
I think Ao's just going to keep on keeping on. She gets another arrow notched into Chompers and fires another shot.
Ravarex now is flat-footed to you because of Dirge of Doom.
Yeah, so I don't have to do the whole hiding thing.
Woo.
Oh, Ravarex, look behind you. It's someone selling tater tots. None of that.
That got me interested.
All right, that is a 32 to hit.
That hits. Ravarex, distracted by the scary music, reveals an open flank and gets hit.
All right, that's 15 points.
Okay.
Ao's going to go for a second arrow. No, you know what? Feeling emboldened, Ao is going to do a TKP.
Okay. I like that.
What would a liquid do? Bludgeoning damage?
Yeah, totally.
She's going to sort of motion behind her and use the water behind to sort of, but hard, really hard. Like, you know, like how a fire hose can be dangerous and bad, or like when you fall on water hard. So bad, dangerous water.
Belly flop.
You don't need to convince me that water is dangerous. I feel like
Okay.
water is one of the most dangerous things on Earth. I'm all the way with you.
That is a 34 to hit.
Whoa.
Okay, it's actually a 29 because we should be at map -5.
Oh, sorry, I didn't do map 5. So it's
But
29.
because Ravarex is off guard to you, that's a hit.
What? Wow. And that's 24 points of damage.
Okay. So this water pelts straight into Ravarex like a tidal wave, bashing into his head. It sends him reeling to the side again. And it is now Fancy the Grothlet's turn.
I cannot believe that Fancy may kill this dragon. What can Fancy do, Lars?
You have
Remind
control
me.
over this token.
No,
if
I
you
know, but like
claw, and that's it. Congratulations, you get to drive a Grothlet. It's the greatest joy that a person can have in this game is
I've done
trying to
it
figure out what
once.
the hell do I do with this
this
stupid
Grothlet.
monster.
Has Fancy got any sort of difficult terrain situation?
I mean, it is difficult terrain. Fancy has a movement speed of 20, but Fancy is 5 feet away from Ravarex, so.
Okay. Can Fancy shuffle to the spot, like with one move action by the spiders in Ravarex?
Like, over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So Fancy sort of ambles along, giggling and humming to Trill's song, and then next to the spiders, kind of emboldened by their continued juvenile taunting, ha ha ha, reaches out and does a claw. Her big old fancy claws. They're like a red kind of liqueured varnish because she's fancy.
She's got to have like the acrylics on.
Yeah.
some gems,
You're telling
maybe.
me it's not just a name, it's also like
It's a
it's
lifestyle.
an apt
Yeah.
nickname? Okay.
She didn't choose the fancy life. Fancy
How-
life chose her.
Let me pull
There
fancy
you go,
up.
sir.
All right. Melee strike. That is not so fancy. That's a 15. Not going to do it.
Fancy stumbles forward and sort of rubs her face against Ravarex's leg and then reels back.
And then she takes the other hand and fancily swipes out. And that is a 25 to hit with an 18 on the die. So Fancy didn't have a lot of chances here, did she?
Fancy falls over in the mud and struggles to get back up. And it is now the beginning of round 6. The situation has changed. On the lower level, Ao, a Grothlet, and a number of illusory spiders are surrounding a Ravarex who is struggling to hold on to consciousness. Mag is poised right above Ravarex's head on the cliff above, Istin and Trill a short distance away. It is now Istin's turn.
And Istin is going to look at Ravarex, glance over at Mag, and delay.
It is now Mag's turn. As Mag sees Istin, look at her, look at Ravarex. What is Mag going to do?
Well, you said I'm out of reach.
I think now that Ravarex is standing up and is about 10 feet tall, Mag is able to reach his head.
And Mag is flying, right?
Mag can fly, yes. But when Ravarex was down on the ground, I was ruling that like he was too far away while splayed out for you to get him.
Mag rages.
Okay.
I guess I'm imagining maybe as Ravarex stands, Ravarex's head reappears up on the ledge, and as Ravarex rises to be face to face with Mag rages for the second time.
So Ravarex is distracted at first, looking down at Ao, looking at this Grothlet, like shouting like, "Enough! Jokes!" And then turns up to Mag as Mag's eyes explode in red.
20 on the die.
What?
That is
meant
amazing.
to be.
Sometimes the dice work out.
Oh.
Telling the right story.
Nice.
Very good.
We have 10 cards in this
Nice.
stack. Is it the ace? It is the 4.
That would have been
So we're looking at critical damage from Mag.
Would have been so beautiful if it was the ace.
54 damage.
It's pretty beautiful anyway, as Mag reaches down, slams the Earthbreaker into Ravarex's head, and Ravarex is twisting in the air, his head bobbing back and forth, like he has completely lost connection with the world. And what happens next?
What happens next is, with the Earthbreaker's handle cradled gently in her palms, Mag skips lightly forward, past where the hammer's head rests on the cave floor. As her feet land gently next to the dragon's head, first one, then the other, her entire body tenses. She coils herself low, tightens her grip, and then pulls. The hammer whips fast and fierce from the floor behind her in a clean upward swing toward where the dragon looms just above her, as it has for her entire adult life. There's a sickening crunch of scale and bone as the hammerhead finds its mark against the underside of the dragon's jaw, accompanied by another sound the party will always recall in connection with this moment: the soft but distinct chime of vibrating metal, as though a bell has been rung. The dragon's head rockets upward with enough force to draw first the neck and then the rest of the body off the floor of the cave, its spine a perfect vertical line, the head at the apex of an unsteady arc. Mag's hammerhead carries her up the same way, momentum drawing first her arms and then her legs off the floor of the cave as she floats upward. The two hang suspended in perfect vertical parallel, a delicate airborne dance. All motion in the cave seems to slow and slow and slow still more. Time does this, Mag thinks, moves slower than it moves, and lives do. Time does this too, and lives do. Time does this too, and lives do. With the dragon's head hovering in stillness at the topmost point of its upward climb, Mag hears its voice echo in her mind. There always was something about you, girl, from the very first. I had to know. Mag is a beacon of red-hot anger. My name, Mag screams in return, trying to etch the words into her tormentor's mind, is Magdaruna Lacewing Skullcrusher. The red glow of Mag's rage burns brighter with each word. Embers bellows to flame. Red light leaping from her braid, from the magically repaired flesh of her hands, now even from the crafted metal joints of her hammer. As though she hasn't spoken, as though she cannot speak, the dragon's voice continues in her mind with finality. Now I know. A more than worthy plaything you've turned out to be. And at that, Mag's rage somehow glows even brighter still, from red hot to white hot. Searing white light screams from Mag's hair and hands and hammer, streaks out in every direction, bolts of incandescent light from within streaming through every crack. Two beams of light from her eyes jet straight upward and burn twin holes in the ceiling of the cave. Time slows to a standstill. And then the dragon's skull splits. And it dies. And at that moment, time returns. The party throw their arms before their faces to block the blinding knives of light pouring from Mag's airborne form. With their vision blocked, they do not see. The dragon's body goes slack. As gravity reclaims its grip, its head is pulled inexorably downward in its final arc, and there is a great echoing crack as its skull crashes lifelessly, harmlessly to earth. Mag's body also goes slack. Her grip on the hammer loosens, and as it continues its upward and outward flight, her arm drops limply back to her side. The hammer sails away, crashing to the earth just after the dragon with a clang. But rather than tumble to the cave floor along with it, Mag's body stays suspended in midair, floating a few feet above the ground. Knives of bright light are still bursting from within her, showering the cave in strange shadows. And then after a few moments of unearthly stillness, something starts to happen to the light. Ever so slowly, the brightness begins to recede as though something pulled from a forge is cooling. And as it cools, instead of returning to its former red color or dulling back to black and brown, the glow takes on a different color and cast. As the echoes of the combat's end fade into silence, Mag's body floats gently in the air. She is nearly motionless, drifting only ever so slightly in the breeze that blows across the cave. And from her braid, her hands, and the hard forged joints of her weapons and armor, there glows a cool, unearthly blue.
Metal indeed, friend.
Yeah.
And we will pick it up from there next time.
Ooh, go Mag!
Woo!
Go David!
Yeah, hardcore.
That was awesome.
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated fan content policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. The Roots of Ruin is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in The Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you.
Visit our website, tabletopgold.com, to learn more about us and our shows, join the Golden Horde to get access to more shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.